Well, this here is the all-new Maruti Suzuki MPV, and if you're in the market for a 7-seater car which offers you relative affordability, offers you fuel efficiency as well as no-nonsense motoring, then this is a car that you should definitely check out at a Maruti dealership near you. Why is that? Well, I'll explain that to you in today's video, but before that, you should also check out my Instagram. Yes, my Instagram is AshishMasi1 and my Twitter handle is also the same. You should also check out our team Autoportal_India if you are, of course, on those two platforms. But before going further, let's have a word from our sponsors. If you're planning to sell your car first before buying this one, then you should definitely check out Cars24. Visit any of their 50 branches across India today and sell your car at the best price. Not only this, Cars24 will also immediately transfer the money into your bank account and will take care of all the paperwork, including the RC transfer. Check out Cars24 today. Well, so if you have been following my video reviews for the last 5 years here on YouTube, then you probably know by now that I am obsessed with water bottle holders and cup holders inside the cabin, and it seems that some manufacturers are finally paying attention to detail to those cup holders inside the cabin. Maruti now offers you air-cooled cup holders over here, which is a brilliant thing for those long highway trips. You can definitely keep your Diet Coke can chilled over here, and that's something that buyers who use their cars on highway trips will truly appreciate. What buyers will also appreciate are these seats. They really offer you very good support as well as cushioning, and the support for the lower back is very good. You get good support for your under thighs, and it's something that buyers will appreciate. You also get these side bolsters, which means that if you decide to push this car into corners, these seats should hold you well and you won't be sliding around over here like I am imitating at the moment. And what you'll also appreciate is the fact that this car comes with 2 airbags, ABS, as well as ISOFIX seats as standard right across the range, so that's something very nice. Now you also get Apple's CarPlay as well as Android Auto on this nice infotainment system over here. That's something that most buyers will also appreciate. But if you are, of course, using an old and outdated iPhone 6 like me, then it's probably best that you stop using it and throw it out, because it's time to upgrade. And to be honest, Apple should stop slowing down their old phones, because it's only been 3 years since I've been using my iPhone 6. It could have lasted me another couple of years more. Well, Maruti has also lifted up the quality inside this cabin now, and this cabin definitely feels a lot more plusher than the outgoing car, and this forward finish and its design will remind you of the Toyota Innova. In fact, it feels like you're sitting inside a miniature version and a slightly more affordable version of the Innova, because it is quite similar to that car's design over here, and even the design of the aircon vents with this nice flush plastic between them does look very nice and premium, so that's a nice thing. And this car now seems more towards the private buyers rather than towards the taxi market, aimed towards the private buyer rather than taxi market, and it does feel a lot more plusher and a lot more upmarket than the earlier version of the car. One area of debate though can be the positioning of this touchscreen over here, because a lot of people think that it looks like a bit of an aftermarket thought, and it looks as if it has been plonked over here. Doesn't seem to gel well with the entire dashboard. I personally think that it looks quite okay, but what do you think? Do let me know in the comments section below. Now let's jump in the back seat and find out how much more roomier are they than the earlier version of the car, because Maruti does claim that they are a lot more comfortable than the older version. Well, the best thing about the Ertiga at the back is the fact that these doors are really nice and big, and they really do open nice and wide, so you get a nice aperture to get in and out of this car, and that's a big boon, especially if you have older folks at home, so they can simply walk into this car. They don't have to crouch or slide in or really have to go up high and be in awkward positions. So that's a nice thing for people who have older parents at home. What's also nice are the seats themselves. The support for your under thighs is very good, and the knee as well as hip angle also is at a nice 90 degrees, so you get a nice and comfortable seat at the back. And this seat has been slided all the way towards its last position, and the front seats are in my usual driving position, and my height for reference is 5'10", something which I normally repeat in all my videos to tell you that people who are sitting in this car will be quite okay in terms of headroom as well as knee room. Now you can also move these seats up, and even then you've got decent space over here, so this car is quite spacious and it is quite comfortable, and it is also pretty wide at the back, which means that if you generally want 3 people over here, you can accommodate them even for the longest of long trips. They won't feel tired in the least. You get your own AC vents at the back, and these are roof mounted, so you don't have to waste any space over here. And you also get a 12-volt charging socket, which should help people who are always on their mobile phones or tab devices. And the best part about this seat over here, which is of course separate from the other two on this part, is the fact that now it is a single touch operation to move it and slide it forward, which is something that buyers who get in the back seat will truly appreciate. The backrest angle of these seats can be reclined all the way back. So if you're of course in a very relaxing mood, or you aren't feeling too good about yourself, you're a little tired, you can simply doze off here in the back, and of course you can slide these seats all the way back to release decent legroom here. These seats really are quite nice, and this is a very comfortable car in the second row of its seats. Now let's jump in the back and find out how the last row of the Ertiga seats really are. Well, once you get in the back seat, you'll appreciate the fact that you get nice and big windows at the back, so you won't be feeling claustrophobic over here. And what you'll also like is the fact that you get your own big cup holder over here, so that's something that buyers on long distance journeys will appreciate. You also get a 12-volt charging point over here for someone who will be using his tab or mobile on the go. That's a big and very useful feature. But the most impressive part is that even for someone who is about 5'10" like me, there is just about decent space. So someone who's about 5'3", 5'4", even 5'5" can easily sit on these seats for long distances, and you can have two occupants here for those highway trips. Yes, it's not the best position to be because you have your knees up high over here and closer to your face and to your ears, so it's not very comfortable, but it isn't a big compromise. Unlike the earlier car, you get decent space as well as decent comfort, and it is a genuine 7-seater. The Ertiga is a genuine and spacious 7-seater. Well, so in terms of boot space, Maruti Suzuki has improved this boot, and now it offers you 209 liters in terms of storage capacity. And if you decide to drop the last row of seats down, it goes all the way up to about 800 liters, which is really impressive. With all seats up, you can actually have one big bag, in fact, and one small duffel bag over here, or maybe another one on top, but that's about it. There's not much space to have anything more. The best part is that you don't get any loading sill, so that's something which is good. But of course, if you decide to drop down the last row of seats, you get a completely flat loading area, so you can easily slide your big bags over there. And well, it is a great car for those airport transfers for your mother-in-law. It really is nice and spacious with the last row down, and even with it up, it is quite decent. Well, so the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga doesn't try to be a sporty car. It doesn't have any pretensions about itself, and that's quite okay because it is an MPV and it does err on the side of comfort rather than on the side of sportiness or handling. And that's a good thing because the steering wheel is nice and light. It's a nice and easy steering wheel to operate. The suspension setup is nice and supple, which means that at slow city speeds it really does soak in the bumps very well. But it doesn't mean that when you take it out on the highway, the steering wheel starts feeling nervous, because it doesn't. It offers you good levels of feedback, and it offers you good levels of communication even on the highway. And the suspension also feels very stable. In fact, it feels a whole lot more stable than my ex-girlfriend ever did on the highway, and that is quite a good thing about this car. Now, in terms of outright power delivery, the petrol engine makes about 104 bhp, and it is quite okay in terms of power. The power delivery is quite linear, so you don't really have to wait for that wave of torque to come in, unlike the diesel where you have to wait till 2000 rpm to really get it going. But that said, the petrol and diesel, whichever you choose, both are quite okay. The nice part about this car is the fact that all the controls are really light. The gearbox is light, the clutch on the diesel also is light, and really that's something you'll appreciate when you're driving this car in the city. In fact, the gearbox is a nice and slick unit. It's typical Japanese unit, and buyers will simply be shifting gears for the heck of it. Throws of the gearbox are really nice and narrow, so you don't really have to be using your hand like this all day and tire it out. The biceps and triceps of your hand will thank you for driving the Ertiga and choosing this car over some of its other rivals, which really have very long throws, so that's something that buyers will appreciate. The clutch also is light and nice, and the best part is that visibility all across is excellent, to say the least, because you get this huge screen. The pillar isn't really chunky, so you can look around it, and you get a nice and large rear view mirror as well, and even the window at the back is nice and large, so you get a good view from that. So it is a nice and easy car to drive in the city. Now, really talking about fuel efficiency in Maruti cars is something which seems like as if I'm talking about an ice cream and saying that it is cold, because both these words are synonymous, and Really, I don't have to mention fuel efficiency, do I? When I drive a Maruti car each time, you know that these cars do deliver good efficiency. Well, so overall, this is a car which offers you great fuel efficiency, it offers you good space on the inside, as well as good practicality. And what's more, being a Maruti means that resale values will be very strong, as will be its total peace of mind factor, which no one else can really match in the MPV space at the moment. In fact, I would end this video review by saying that this is a car which offers you about 80% of what the Innova does for about 50% of the price. Think about that before you make a buying decision. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.